Hello, class. Good morning. Um, Welcome to week 11. And just super short video here today, just to give a little praise and just maybe a heads up about what's coming this next week. Um, Business wise, you should be in your second week of the Christ-like attribute. So last week, you did some study. You decided, what attribute of Christ. You put some goals together. I'll do my very best to get those graded on Monday, so that you'll have the rest of this week and the next week to kind of feel confident in what you're trying to accomplish. But knowing that there's no way that you can develop and become like Christ in 1 or 2 3 weeks with a little bit of study. But the idea is that the more focused we are, choosing one thing, wrestling with it, trying to understand it, if part of your goals is just a continued study, your prayers, you can in just a few short weeks have an experience and feel your spirit grow. And so I don't want to limit what your vision is. But I don't want you to get discouraged, and saying it's been a couple weeks and not much has changed. So I would say, jump in there, be faithful in your efforts, and know that you can learn a little bit more about Christ and become a little bit more like Him this week. And so, this week in the book of Mosiah, almost every week I just think, oh, these are some of my favorite chapters. So I feel the same way with Mosiah, but the book of Mosiah is awesome. And I mentioned it in my notes, but this idea that one person can be as many as a multitude. When I was serving my mission in Scotland, 1991 and 93, at one point Elder Holland toured the mission, and you get to have those mission conferences with an apostle. Definitely the life-changing experiences. But he actually did a fireside one evening, and we had taken an investigator, and his topic was one can be as many as a multitude. And he talked about the one missionary, that led to the conversion of Brigham Young, and that missionary, wasn't eloquent and wasn't, what you going into cities and converting thousands, but he converted Brigham Young. That was it. And then what Brigham Young becomes. You have a Benedict, such a faithful man. I love the Arnold Freiberg picture where it depicts him as an older, ripped man, but nowhere does it say that Benedict is old. But for me, it's that idea that he portrays the inner man, and to me, he portrays a Benedict as this man that has been faithful, a spirit that has been faithful for a lot of years. And when God asks him to do something, he's a man that goes in there and gets it done. And a Benedict, going into King Noah and standing before him, he says several times, I got a message to deliver, don't touch me. And then once my message is delivered, it matters not what happens to me, as long as I return to God. And so that one man converted one other man, Alma, and then that man converted a couple hundred of the Waters of Mormon, became the leader up in Zarahemla of the church, then had a son, a wayward son, and hung out with some sons of Mosiah, and then those individuals go to the Lamanites, convert tens of thousands. And so you can be the one, as you try to develop and become more like Christ. You can be the one that brings people closer to Christ, that brings not just yourself, but your children. You could be the one that becomes the parent that inspires youth to greater faithfulness. You could be the one that at work, that sets the example. Sorry about that, of what it means to be godly. You could be the one in your ward, that when you walk into a room, you light it up, like a Benedict did when he shone in front of King Noah. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you enjoy these last few weeks of class, and praise you for the efforts that you put forth. Keep those efforts going, and God will bless you. And so don't stress out this week. Get your work done earlier in the week. Push yourself and enjoy Thanksgiving if you're in the part of the world that celebrates that. Have a great week.